All right. So session, utilizing Teams for your Dynamics 365 solutions. If this is a session you want to be in, you are at the right place. If not, you might not be at the right place.
But stay anyway.
Please do stay. We will be talking about our experiences within and Dynamics. So I guess we can just do a quick introduction, and Malin, you can start.
Thank you. Malin Martnes. I am head of Dynamics 365 at Knowit. I have been an MVP in business applications since 1st of July 2019. And this year I also became an MCT. My focus areas are on the old CRM part of Dynamics and also on HR. So that are my areas.
Yeah, my name is Thomas Sandsør. I also go by the name of the CRM keeper. I work at Point Taken. Malin and I used to work together before she unfortunately chose to work at Knowit. So this has also been one of the reasons why we know each other very well. I recently became an MVP, so I've been for less than a week now. So that's kind of a new thing for me.
Yay! Hooray! Finally, Thomas made MVP. So.
Yeah, so anyway, yeah, my background is that I've been working with Dynamics CRM since 2007. And so I would say I'm a pretty much old school CRM guy. So the whole Power Platform and Power Apps, everything around there is new to me. So yeah, it's a transition. All right, should we jump into it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's get started.
Teams plus Dynamics.
Yes.
But really, I thought we'd just start before just trying to describe what is Dynamics to try to put things into context. And so I will click now, Malin, you just let me know when you know. Next slide.
Yes, so these are the apps that is Dynamics 365. As you see, it's marketing, sales, customer service, field service, human resources, and of course, finance and operations is now finance, SCM, and it changes names from time to time. Business Central, retail, project service. Where's project now? Ask Antti Paisonen, artificial intelligence, and mixed reality. So these are the applications that is Dynamics 365. And if you click now, you can see that it's all built on the CDS, the Common Data Service. As of old, this was all on-premise data. Back when I was a customer in 2011, we had an on-premise CRM solution. Back then it was still called CRM. And all of this, if you click again, you can see that the Power Platform is part of the entire ecosystem. So you have Power BI, Power Automate, and Power Apps. If you meet a Dynamics consultant that say that they haven't done any Power Apps, they're lying. Dynamics 365 is a model-driven Power App. So everyone that's working with CRM is actually working with Power Apps. But this isn't all there is. So if you click again, you can see that this massive chaotic picture, this is the ecosystem of business applications. So you can see that you can add on to LinkedIn with the relationship sales, the talent hub for human resources. You have all the amazing Azure services. You have, of course, Office 365, which is one of the good things when you work with sales. You can track your emails directly into the sales application. Use, of course, Word for your templates, get your data out in Excel, and of course, while we are here, Teams. And everything around it.
Which is quite a lot.
It is a lot. And we could probably talk for 40 minutes just about this slide and everything it does, but let's move on.
All right, next slide. So Malin was talking a bit about this, and this might be a lot of theory for you, but I think it is important to put things just a bit in context before we dive into the Teams world and how Dynamics and Teams go together. And this is the reason why we mentioned something called the CDS, or the Common Data Service, and Dynamics in the same context. And as Malin was saying, is that, well, it's basically because it is the same thing, even though they are separate. They are separate in marketing terms, but the dynamics, and this is what I'll try to describe as best as possible with yet another confusing slide, and please just bear with me because this is confusing. So we have something called the common data model. That's not, some people might use the term common data model, but most people use common data service, which is CDS. The common data model is also a project on GitHub, publicly available from Microsoft, saying this is the common set of tables. And this is basically what the common data service is made out from. But some people then just say, well, what is the common data service based on that model? Well, it is the API for the common data model. That's the common data service. So the common data service is a set of standardized tables. In this case, we can see here account, appointment, contact, lead, etc., phone call, a common set of tables in a database, which we connect to via APIs. And therefore, this is also an API. But what Dynamics has become, let's say here for sales, it has become an app that runs on top of CDS. So Dynamics 365 CRM, or the CRM application, or whatever you want to call it these days, is actually not a singular app anymore. It is, or no, it's not a singular program that runs on its own server. It is an app that runs on top of common data service, which is new for at least me as a consultant. So all of these apps here, the sales service, the marketing, etc., they're built upon the common data service and are exclusively like own apps, but are running on top of common data service. And so human resources, you can say more about that, Malin, I guess, but the point is that human resources is now being transitioned. Parts of it slowly are coming over into the common data service also, so that we can be able to talk different applications, ERP systems or HR systems in the same database. So we're talking about the same data, the same accounts, the same users, etc.
And just 2 days ago, they announced that the virtual entities for human resources now will support CRUD. So that's good. So even the entities that aren't in the CDS, you could get a hand on with virtual entities.
Cool, that's new.
Yep, that's.
And then what we used to do a lot is, because I don't deliver that many sales solutions anymore. I deliver a lot of so-called custom solutions, and that could be things like, let's say, healthcare, where the account or the contact is, or let's say the contact table is no longer called contact. It might be called patient. So, and then you build up custom tables instead, and it's built on top of the CDS. But it's got the same look and feel as a regular dynamic system, but it doesn't use the typical things like an opportunity or a ticket system and service. Then all of these things are also on top of the CDS. So this is where we do the customizations of models, and this is very typical in Dynamics world. Building business applications. Yeah, exactly. So, but anyway, so this of course all could just be explained in one simple slide as this one, saying that, and in the bottom here, we do have the common data service. The layer in between is the Power Platform, whereas one of the things that I am presenting is the Dynamics 365, and Malin also here as more apps on top of the Power Platform. Nostalgia.
Yes. I feel at home. Extra thanks to Jukka Nirran for, I Googled back in 2011, CRM 2011. What did it look like back then? This is the view that I used to have. So I used to be a customer back in 2011. And I did work in Outlook. So this is the old Outlook, good old Outlook, where I embedded my CRM solution. So I just worked in Outlook. I had everything in Outlook. I had my emails and I had my CRM all in Outlook. which was great because I never needed to go anywhere else. I didn't need to log on to anything else. It was just all there. And as a customer, that's what I wanted. And then it went away. And I was kind of sad. Then I became a consultant, but still I miss the old days of doing everything in one application.
Like Teams.
Like Teams.
Yeah. So should I help you on to the next one?
Yes. Now let's talk about, let's start with Dynamics HR and Microsoft Teams. And this is, it's still in preview. I think it's just coming out of preview now in October. This is the leave and absence app for HR. You can easily find it through the search and add it with a click of a button and it's there. Then go to next. You get this cute bot. So you sign in to your existing HR environment and you get an information. So here you can, as it says, check time off balance, view balance details, and even request time off. Next. So here I can either, what can I do? I can see my balances or I can take time off directly from the bot, which is great because I don't have to go to HR and say, okay, dear HR, how much time do I have left? How many hours of vacation do I have left? How many sick days have I taken this year? And then have to wait for, I don't know how long, it depends on the HR department. Here I could just ask a bot. Next. Or I could use the time off view. And as you see, I love the dark mode and everything. So when I have dark mode on in Teams, the app, of course, is honoring that. And I can see here, I don't have any upcoming time off, but I can see all my views and I can see my old time off. This is a demo environment. So back in 2017. Next. And if I set up a request, I can even here see how many hours I have left or I have taken. Next. And here I can request new. So if I request to take personal time off, I can set it either in hours or in days, that depending on the default settings within the system. And I can also set up for reason code so that when my manager approves this, he can see why I need my my time off. And when I then, I can either save it as a draft or I can click submit. And I have 87.76 hours available. And here I requested 48 and I can easily see how many hours I have left. Again, no need of including HR in this at all, which is great because they got enough to do anyways. So I click submit. And I can see it's still not in the upcoming, but it is here. It has the status of submitted. So first I need to submit. And then if you click next, I can see that the status is completed. HR has gone in, have approved the time, and it is now in my upcoming time off. Yes, thank you, Thomas. So here I could see the time off for my team. So I could actually see that the people that I work with, they have all applied for time off, or here none of them have, so everyone's working, which is great. But it is always good to be able to see your team and when they have the day off or if they have scheduled something in the calendar. And a new thing coming, I think it's in February or March, bit away, but hey, COVID time goes by like that. You can even say that once your time is approved by HR, it goes directly into your Outlook calendar. So finally, an Outlook integration is coming, which is quite amazing and is exactly what I've been waiting for, because this is great. You can schedule your entire time off and your manager can approve time off, or it could go automatically if you want that. And you can see your team, and now even your Outlook calendar is updated. Next. We're going quite fast because we have a lot of slides and a demo. And there's so much you could do. We want to talk about everything. So a quick go on to Dynamics Marketing and Teams, which is of course also a great integration. So if you do next, you can of course embed all of the Dynamics applications within a channel at a tab. So here you can see you could actually work in the marketing application from within Teams. I'm back to 2011, everything in one system, and I just need to go on Teams and everything is there. I love it. And if you then go next, I here have my events. So I have now gone deeper into my marketing application, and I'm going into the events, and I can see all the events that my business is doing. And next. And I can even set up an event to stream in Teams. So I could do it as a Teams meeting or a Teams live event. They have from the start had On24, which is a webinar producer, but finally they came with Teams. So now you could have your Teams meetings, your events as Teams meetings. Go next. You could also set up some. You can see if the recording is going to be available for the producer, speakers, and or attendees, and you can do some quite good stuff within your marketing application that has effect in Teams. And of course, you can also, in the events communication in the far right to the bottom, you can create an event email for your Teams check-in. You can do everything, and everything talks to each other, and you have your Dynamics and your Teams all together, and they're just working.
Cool.
Yes.
This is part of the wave 2, right? The new stuff coming out?
This is part of the wave 2. So it came in public preview in August, and hopefully it is coming very soon. I have to check my own blog to see when it's actually coming. In a second. I think this is part of what's coming in GA now in October.
Cool. Yes. This is absolutely something we need to look more into. Yeah, that'll be fun. But again, everything run through Teams. It's pretty awesome.
Everything's Teams. Yes, GA October. Everything is Teams. And again, I'm just loving it because that's how I used to work with my back in the days. I had everything in Outlook, and now I have everything in Teams.
Cool.
It's great.
Should we skip up to next?
Yes.
All right. So the next part, I'll be talking a little bit first about the Dynamics plus SharePoint story. That's been a story for many, many years. And just to give a little bit of background and the pros and cons about that, do the Dynamics 365 CRM plus Teams, because this is a big difference. So for all of you who hasn't seen a CRM system before, this is Microsoft Dynamics CRM. I have now opened something called an opportunity, which is what people do within sales. And that is connected to a contact and connected to an account. So what we've had for many years is the connection to the SharePoint with direct integration with SharePoint. And at best, I can say that it is okay. That's at best. Because what it is when we click the Files button here, the system will talk to SharePoint and create a folder structure within SharePoint based on a site that we have that is called, in this case, the site is called CRM. Within the site, there is a folder structure, and this is what I'll show you now. So for the opportunity, because it belongs to a company, the folder structure is as following. We have one site that in this case I defined as the CRM. It will then have a folder called accounts. So that's a document library. And you have to correct me if I'm wrong, people from SharePoint, but I believe this is called a document library. Within the document library, we have the accounts, and then we have the customer. So this is Fabricam, the customer. And then you open the customer, you will then see a subfolder with opportunities. If you then open the opportunities, you will see a new folder with all of the opportunities that are on that account, or sorry, yeah, within this account. So this could be one to many. Then you open this and you would be able to see the actual picture that was attached within CRM. So
try explaining that to a customer easily.
Yeah. So it's kind of easy to say in CRM. It's okay, if you want to find an image or you want to find a document, just open your opportunity in CRM and you should find it. But the story has always been an issue when working from SharePoint, mostly because often we are CRM consultants. I'm sure there is a lot of things you can do with search, but this does not provide metadata. This is just basically saying out of the box. We're talking out of the box here before you do any third-party solutions. So this is pretty much just a picture in a storage location that is quite long, as you can see here. It doesn't make a lot of sense. So from a SharePoint perspective, I would say this is close to impossible to really navigate with I mean, when you have a customer large. The positive thing about this, of course, is that everyone can open the documents because it's open. The negative thing about that is everyone can open these documents if you want to have things secure. Because SharePoint and Dynamics out of the box do not replicate security, because the security model in Dynamics is a lot more complex than it is in SharePoint, and they don't talk together at all. So this has always been an issue, but there are third-party solutions. We're not getting into that here that actually do replicate the models if that is needed. But still, I mean, you would need to figure out what kind of structure you want. This is the out of box. This is to give a little preview of what it used to be. So Dynamics CRM and Teams. So why this is now becoming an extremely cool solution, and it works really, really well. So let's just look at this company. Well, this is actually a real case, but I just won't, talk about the company, so we'll just call it Super Awesome Company. So this is Thomas. I work with sales, and so for the sales, I'm requiring a license for the Microsoft 365. So I have every component there, and I also need a Dynamics 365 license. As you all know, the Dynamics 365 license is not free, and it means it is a little expensive. So you kind of want to limit it to the number of users within the application. You don't want to go saying everyone in our company should have direct access to do anything in the CRM solution. And then we have Malin. She is a consultant, and for her needs, she needs the license, in this case, as a Microsoft 365 license. So we have two users here that will be working together. So this is a demo, and what could possibly go wrong in my demo script here? If I just close this off, we are in the opportunities section here. So I'm going to go full screen. So what you can see here, this is Microsoft CRM. And in this environment, what we see here is these are the opportunities that we have in the system. We also have accounts, contacts, etc. So this is the navigational menu, which is also known as model-driven app. That's why Malin is saying correctly that we have a world where we know about each other from before when this is a Power App, but it's model driven, not canvas. So the typical thing for a sales team now could be, and let's look into that. Within Teams, we have a sales team. The sales team might have a general tab here where they discuss things openly. But why would they need to go here and then also tab over to the list of opportunities when they kind of want to have things all gathered here? So this is the first case here where we can see that this is coming together and making a lot of sense. So if I go to the opportunities of CRM again, we have a button here called Collaborate. By doing this, I get the option here asking me what I want to start connecting this to Teams. I say, yes, I do want to connect it to Teams. And it gives me a list of the available teams that I have access to. In this case, I'm going to go to the sales team and I'm going to click next. Because right now I'm clicking in open view, open opportunities concerning all of the opportunities within this view. And then again, I can choose a tab. So I'm just going to go for the general tab, sorry, the channel. And I can choose also a new channel if I would want to. And I click finish. So what this thing is going to do is going to make a link into the Teams to this view. I don't have to open that because I can just go here, open opportunities. And just like Malin was explaining before, we can get all of the views and we can navigate CRM here perfectly. We don't have to do anything new. I mean, I can open an opportunity here just like this, and I can work with opportunities from this view. I don't have to leave Teams at all. So another thing we could do, and that's, I mean, depending on how you would structure Teams, and this is, I mean, I think this is important because the structure of Teams is important. So if we say we had a new customer that we want to work with, and we're just going to add a new channel. New customer and it's standard, accessible, available to everyone on the team, that's fine. In this case, we have the new customer that we're going to be working with. It's a specific opportunity. So in this case, I could say like, it could be this one. They sell many of the same items that we want to do. So what we here have before, where we could click the files option and have a fairly oddly structured SharePoint integration, we can now say that, okay, I as a salesperson, I need help from Malin because we need to work on documents together. So what we can do here is that I can do here for Collaborate, the same button, but now I'm doing a specific opportunity. I can go into the sales team and choose the new customer. And I can also choose if I want to add even more members to this from here based on the sales team in CRM. I don't need to do that at the moment, so we're just going to do create here. So within the new customer here, I as a salesperson can go in and look at this opportunity directly, which is really, really cool. Because the next thing here I'm going to talk about is files. Files is the key element here of collaboration, because if I were to create a new file here on the customer, this is a new document that Malin and I have to work together. Because she has to answer lots of technical specifications about the marketing applications that we want to do. So this is just a normal document that we can collaborate in. But the whole point here is that I can now work in Teams, use the standard out-of-the-box Teams channel and files. But when I go back to my opportunity, I'm just going to do a quick refresh here just to make 100% sure that I got everything right. And I click Files now. This is now connected directly to the Teams file tab. As you can see here, also the source here is the MS Teams. So this is opening new options for us now to do a lot more within collaboration than we have ever been able to do before. Easier. Because
and
within
the... actually find it.
Exactly. This is a lot easier to find, and we're still working together within this one file tab. So The salesperson can then easily go in here, looking into the files, opening anything here within the CRM opportunity, updating the budget amount or anything. Let's just do it just to show that. If I were to do a 10,000 here instead, and we do a save, that is the same as me going in here. Let's just do a refresh. That is the same thing as going into the CRM application and doing a save. It is the same application. So, and the cool thing about this too is that when we do it this way, we could do, even now, we could do private channels. So I could do this as a private channel, and Malin is the only one, and I, that would have access to these files because of Teams actually controlling the whole structure of the files. So it gives us a level up of security that we haven't had before. So we can actually now work on sensitive opportunities within an organization also, because when the organizations get big enough, we see sometimes that like Oslo and Trondheim or something like that could actually be competing against each other with different salespeople. So this really, really, really is a game changer for us within security and collaboration for CRM. We're not even moving out of Teams. We're keeping everything within Teams.
And just to be clear, because we got a question, this is the out-of-the-box standard functionality. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to set it up to be a certain way. It just works out of the box.
Exactly. And as in this case, Malin is still using her Office 365 license. She doesn't need the Dynamics license. In this case, she wouldn't see if she entered this thing. She might not even see that this has any information, but that doesn't concern her. She's concerned about the documents being able to, answer whatever we need to answer for our tender. So we get away with, working together without having to assign a certain license to anyone. All right, so that was the demo of the out-of-the-box Teams integration. And luckily, that went. Is there anything here I missed out? No, we did the security, so that's fine. Oh yeah, we have one little tiny little thing here, of course. At one case, we might actually do so well that we win this opportunity. And a typical thing that we can also do here is just utilize the whole Power Platform within notifying the rest of the organization. The win wires that some large organizations maybe have. Let's just do this in small scale. So when I do a close as one here, and I say, okay, what's going to happen on the background is that a flow will trigger. And when the flow triggers, I can do anything within Teams. So right now I'm just posting into the company general channel saying that a certain person, in this case, Thomas, won the opportunity. So, go ahead and congratulate him. So this is a flow, so it's asynchronous. It does maybe take a few seconds before anything happens. Yeah, here we are. We got it, right? Yeah, that's now. So here we got it. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Okay, so this is just a way to do it. We can do action cards and etc. I mean, there's so many things you could do here. This is basically your own imagination. So this is a great way for us to sort of keep in channels, informing people that what sales is actually doing, which is good because there is sometimes a gap between all of the activities that sales are actually doing out there and what the consultants hear about every day. So this is a good way to sort of bridge the gap between what's happening. So the next part of my demonstration, I saw that there was someone else today.
In 4 minutes.
Huh?
In 4 minutes.
4 minutes. Is that when we have to be done? All right. Project Oaktail. Project Oaktail is in preview. I am sorry. We're going to speed through this one. It is in preview right now, and this is a game changer for us because this is based on the common data service. As I was talking from before, this is every single team will gain access to one common data service database for 2 gigabytes for every team, up until 500 teams. And then this is not a full-scale CDS. It doesn't have API access, etc. But this is a relationship database. And it's absolutely going to be something that you need to consider to use instead of SharePoint lists in some cases where you're going to create data models. So I thought I would create a demo case for this. And the reason is because we have, let's say, a company here. We're going to release a new product. And the thing is, we wanted to get, you know, a reconnect from all our customers because we want to get to know them better. You know, maybe we haven't spoken to a large list of customers in a long time. So what I did is that I just created a flow, got all of the accounts from the CRM system, and then we're going to put them into Project Oaktail with it, which is in Teams. And we're going to have an external sales team come in and actually call and work through the list. So I'll just jump into that. So the first thing we did was we did a flow. And I'm just saying I'm dumping all of the accounts that we have into the Project Oaktail account base. So here we just dump them in. It's not really exciting. I'm just doing the account name and the city in this case. And so for the demo, if we navigate to the demo, we can see here within the Power Apps, I'm just going to go open up the external sales team. This is a team I'm just sorry, I have to speed through this thing right now. But if I look into the accounts right here, I can see the accounts that we have added by going into a visual editor. So these are the accounts. But what we are missing in this case is I want to have an external sales team hired to be able to go through these and call them and ask them if they, you know, how they are doing from a scale from 1 to 5, and if they want to hear more about our new product. So let's just quickly create, and this will look a lot like SharePoint list, but this isn't. This is actually a relationship database in the background here. So we'll
you can also use this for your marketing. So if you have GDPR problems and you need to contact all your people or all the companies to see if they still want to have newsletters from you, or if they still want to be a customer or something like that, then this is also a very good use for it. Yep.
I'm just going to add a column, and we're going to add the do you want follow sales, and we're just going to do a yes no for that one. All right, so if you haven't seen Project Oaktail, there are other videos for that might be better at explaining everything because I'm going a little quickly here. But the whole point is that you're getting Power Apps embedded in Teams here. So there's an app here that I created called the Account Reconnect. We are just going to go in and edit that.
A Canvas Power App?
This is Canvas Power App, correct. And this, of course, is where a typical demo might go bad. Okay. So anyway, here we have the accounts. And in this case, I see that we're missing out a little bit of information here. So I'm going to go in and add the fields that we just added, which would then be the satisfaction and the, what else did I add? Where on earth did I forget to click sale? No, do you want follow-ups from sales? There we go. So we're going to be adding those. And just by doing that, this is not very aesthetically beautiful at the moment. We have a Power App that I can now do the next step, which is quite interesting because when I go into Teams here, this is the cool thing about it. We have for external teams, I can either publish directly or I can add it from here, sorry. The account reconnects. So we're publishing the app in here, and I might have forgotten to click publish. So again, we'll get to that, but sorry, typical demo here. I'm just going to publish, but the point is that from when we go here, I can actually do add to channel, and I can add external people in. So I could add external user, which has access to this team, and therefore also has access to the data. Did I just click create channel? This is meant to do, of course. So he, as a guest user, can now go in, and if I just publish my app, we will be able to see, and we're we're probably over on time already.
Yep.
You got about 2 or 3 minutes.
I'll just do a quick publish on my app so we can see that it's not fake.
I always have to tell Thomas he's running short on time or he runs over.
Yeah, but the really cool thing about this is we can actually legally expose data that is, that we want to have for our task in this case. We can do this, expose this data, and have other people that are external salespeople that we want to hire to just be able to do this calling process, because we want to do a long list of people that we want to get in contact with without being, concerned about adding them into our CRM system by some special sales. Did they get too much access? Is that okay or not? So I'm just going to publish that. Now, hopefully, if I didn't screw up, this would then have probably did it twice here. Yeah, so here we go, the account reconnect. So if an external user logs in here, he can actually go through this, and he can use this as a call list. Says, do you want a sales follow-up from sales? And you can go in, yep, I want the follow-up from sales, and they are happy, or they are maybe not happy, because that could also be a reason why they want to follow up from sales. And whenever we do this, the last thing that I can show that is that we can just do a trigger on a flow, saying that whenever something happens with the accounts from our project Oaktail, we fire up a new record and we create a task on the accounts in CRM. And for this task, we could, let's say, the customer requires a follow-up, and the key account manager then would get a notification about this. So that's just one way of sort of integrating Teams, which is its key element here, with the new project Oaktail, which is in preview, and adding on to value of our Dynamics data without having to actually do a hard configuration of a Dynamics enterprise solution.
Just make sure you don't touch in on multiplexing.
But this would be the same as considered. If you do it the way I'm doing it, you're doing an import, so you should be safe. But yes, you have to be careful.
Yes, and multiplexing is if you are doing creating things that makes it so that you don't have to have a license for everything.
Right.
But all in all, Microsoft Dynamics and Microsoft Teams, they are finally in a love relationship, and they work very good together.
Absolutely.
Great.
So yeah, that's all we had. Yeah, I'm sorry for the very quick demo at the end there, but it was just to sort of give some explanation to the Oaktail, which will get a new name sometime soon.
Yeah, because they did so great with the last one. Just remember to I see Chris has posted forums for your feedback. The only way we get better is if you give us feedback. So if you love it, please let us know. If you want us to be better, please let us know.